Okay folks, today we're going to be installing the precision stabilizer on a 2018 Yamaha Raptor. This is a steering stabilizer. So this is the head unit here. You see here, this is a spot, the clamp that will connect around your steering stem. It's got little adjuster screws here to adjust the tightness of the center and the outsides. Some clamps to clamp underneath. So this should all be working out really well. One of the first things it does tell you to measure your steering stem. So I don't know if you can read this, but this is about 1.25 inches. If you look at the instructions here, at the very top, it's going to say for 1.25 inches, make sure you got an A stamped on it. And then here, at the very top there, you can see I got an A. So I got the right one. So I'm going to get repositioned and get this thing lined up, see if we can't get this installed. Alright folks, so ready to kind of get this in. I hope you can see it. Right here on the front, there's a crossbar right between your A-arms. On the front side, it's a factory one. It sits there. I'm not sure what it's for, but it's already there. So we're going to try snaking this thing in. The small side here goes toward the front. This is where the goes on that crossbar. This comes up from the bottom and bolts on, and then this one here comes up underneath the frame and holds that one on. So we're going to get this snaked in here and see if we can't get her bolted up here. Got it sitting there. I forgot to put Loctite on ahead of time. I'll do that really quick. Good enough to start with. Okay, now I'm set with that. There's that crossbar. I'm going to bolt in here. We got one in. Hard to see doing everything blind. Alright, the second one in. Now this one here is just going to come up from the bottom. These longer bolts. Let's see if we can get these up in here. Much easier. I'm not seeing the back of my fat head. Alright. So that's that. Now we've got to try to get in here and get the steering stem on here. Again, a little bit of Loctite on these two screws. There we go. Let's see here. I apologize if you can't see too good. I can't see too good either. Start with the other one. started. Alright, I'm going to reposition. Let me do the camera here. Okay, got repositioned on the other side. And I've got my T-handle Allen wrench at the number 5. Gonna snug this up a little bit here. You just can't get to anything. Okay, start snug. Want to make sure they go down kind of even. All right, I kind of got it snugged on there. So let me reposition here so I can show you some alignment stuff. Alright folks, so one last thing here we got to do is you want to make sure that this arm here is not cocked this way or cocked that way. You want to make sure it's flat and that there's a gap in here and that it's parallel. Same thing back with this one. Everything looks good on this. Looks pretty darn flat. Not binding everywhere. My steering wheel is straight. That's another thing it tells you to do. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this thing up. And then, let me see here. I'll show you one other thing. Alright, one last thing here. My video shut off there, so sorry it's jumpy here. Once you get done, it comes back with some suggested settings. So depending on what type of riding you do, this will kind of get you started out there. So I'm going to probably choose this one right here, cross country average roughness. So basically, like you're adjusting your shocks, you're going to turn your screws here. They got a center and a side one, so you turn your center, turn it all the way in full clockwise until it seats, and you back it off here 8 notches, and then on the outside I'm going to back it off 10. So these are starting places. They're probably a little bit lighter, but just like adjusting your shocks, you get them set there, fine-tune them over time. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust these, and then I'm going to go out and do some testing if the rain ever gets up. It looks like right now that I am probably going to be testing it while I'm racing it, so that ought to be very exciting. Never having tried a stabilizer before. So anyway, as soon as I figure out how this goes here, we'll see how I like it. Okay folks, I had a chance to test the steering stabilizer out. Unfortunately, it was during race day. That's how it goes. I got there a little early, drove around the parking lot, and just kind of got the feel of it there. You do feel a little bit of resistance. It is a shock absorber, so you do feel a little bit of resistance when you turn. It's nothing much at all, and after about 10 minutes of riding, you don't even really notice. As far as some of the benefits, the steering stabilizer is a little odd. Its whole purpose of that thing is to make your bike not do things. So how do you know if nothing's happened? Is it working, or does nothing happen just because there's nothing going on? So thankfully though, there was about a few areas here that I did definitely notice the difference. And so one of them is going downhill. tree roots, you've got you know, a bank on one side where one wheel's up, one's down. You know, you're on a really steep hill, you know, sliding down. You're on the front brakes trying to make a turn. All that stuff, you're in for big, you know, twists of the handlebar. Sometimes it's trying to jerk, and you're just kind of having to manhandle your way through it. You know, didn't have any of that with the steering stabilizer. The only thing I really had to worry about was just going down the hill and not hitting a tree. And so the more hills I went down, the more confidence I had, and ultimately the faster I went down those hills. So it was really nice. The second area was really, you know, winding it out through some flat spots. Across the flat spots, you know, you've got uneven terrain, you've got ruts, you've got, you know, potholes and bumps, rocks, soft spots where your tire can get in it and hooked one way, and, you know, didn't have any of that problems, you know, whatsoever this time. In fact, you know, it was a really hot day. My water pack wasn't working, and as the day went on, I ended up going across these flat spots one-handed, and the other one, you know, was kind of reaching back trying to get my water thing to work. And it was so hot, you know, later in the race, I ended up, you know, going one-handed down some of those hills trying to get my water thing to work out well. So really happy with that. You know, no close calls there whatsoever. The third area was really on my ride home is when I noticed it. The ride home and waking up the next day. You know, typically all day of just jerking and fighting there, my triceps and shoulders are just really super sore. And I really didn't have hardly any of that. I would say probably at least 90% reduction in just, you know, soreness from just not having to fight that thing all day doing that. So really nice. You know, a lot of the other things that you normally run into, you know, going, you know, crossways through a ditch, you know, and jerking right there, you know, hitting rocks, going through deep ruts, going through sandy sections, you know, over jumps and rollers and some sketchy landings. You know, I didn't really have any issues. None of that stuff, bad stuff really happened to me this time. So I either got super lucky during the whole race and nothing happened, or the stabilizer, you know, was doing what it was supposed to, and that's kind of what I'm leaning toward there. So, you know, all in all, the stabilizer worked good. Very happy with it. Definitely recommend getting you one. They are expensive, but they definitely work. I think they're, you know, the more I ride it, dial it in a little bit, it's just going to make me that much more confident, that much more faster. So again, that's it. Precision steering stabilizer for a 2018 Yamaha Raptor.